Welcome to the Department of English, Government Postgraduate College, Attock. These online classes have been started on the instructions of Punjab Higher Education Department, Govt of Punjab, Lahore. The prime purpose of these classes is to help students in continuing their studies and preparation for the final exams. By conducting these classes, the students would benefit from the teaching of their teachers in COVID-19 situation. As you know that all the educational institutions have been closed due to the spread of COVID-19. Hence, online classes are inevitable for the smooth flow of educational activities. That is why the government decided to launch online classes for the betterment of the students. In this regard, we hope and expect that you would pay full attention to these classes and would benefit from them as maximum as possible. We also hope that you would do your best to perform in the exams. For this purpose, our department too started the online classes to help you in preparing yourself for the final exams. I'm Abdul Qayyum from Department of English. Uh, my job is to teach you grammar, that is the paper B portion of the paper, and we have already started the correction of sentences. This is the question of 10 marks in your final paper, in which incorrect sentences are given and you have to correct those incorrect sentences. This question is of prime importance because it can help you in securing more marks, and these marks are very much pertinent and important because exact 10 marks can be got in this question if only 5 sentences are corrected. So I will be sharing the rules and the principles that can help you in correcting the incorrect sentence, and this would not only help you in securing good marks in your graduation, but these rules would also help you in improving your English in general, because the basic purpose of these lectures is to help you in spotting out the most frequent mistakes committed in the usage of English. By knowing these mistakes, you will be able to express yourself in correct English. Hence, it is hoped and expected of you that you would pay full attention to these rules. Further, you are also advised to make notes of these lectures because these would help you later in your preparation for the final exam as well. Uh, we have discussed 41 rules so far, and that these rules tell us about correcting sentences in English, and all the rules have been explained in detail, and we can correct the sentences by knowing the rules. So far we have studied 40 rules of correction, in which we have discussed how to correct the sentences in English and what could be the possible mistakes in them. Continuing the same topic, today we would move to rule number 41 in correction, and this rule tells us about that with the countable nouns few, fewer, and the fewest is used, whereas for quantity less or lesser is used. What we have to make it clear here is that there are two kinds of the nouns. One, countable nouns, and other is the uncountable nouns. If the noun is countable, countable means that we can count it like 1, 2, 3 in numerical order. That is the countable one. And quantity means that the thing that can be measured, but that cannot be counted like in 1, 2, 3 sense. So that we would use lesser before it. Look at the first example here. Women commit less crimes than men. Less has been used before crimes. Looking at crimes, we have to decide whether it is countable or uncountable. Crime, you can see, is countable. We can count the crimes like 1 crime, 2 crimes, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. What is clear is that the crime is a countable noun. So the rule says that before the countable nouns, we will place fewer, not less, because here number is reflected, not the quantity. So women commit less crimes than women is incorrect because of putting less before the uncountable before the countable noun, whereas women commit fewer crimes than men is the correct sentence, because crimes has been preceded by fewer, that is used for the countable nouns, and this is the countable noun. That is why fewer is the correct expression for this sentence. In order to continue with the same rule, the next two examples are here. You can see on the slides. The next example is, he has fewer sugar than you. So fewer has been used before sugar. Let us define and decide whether sugar is countable noun or uncountable noun. Can we count sugar? When we want to purchase sugar from a shop, do we say, give us 3 sugar, 5 sugar, 7 sugar? No. We take it by the quantity, by kgs, like this one. So what is clear is that sugar is not a countable noun, is uncountable noun. And before uncountable noun, we find its quantity. So for the quantity, fewer is not used, because fewer is used before the nouns that are countable, that we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where the sugar is not countable. So we have to replace fewer with lesser. He has fewer sugar than you is incorrect. To make the sentence correct, we have to replace fewer with lesser. So he has lesser sugar than you is the correct sentence. See why we have put lesser? Because for the quantity we use lesser, and sugar cannot be counted. We take it with the quantity. So for the expression of quantity, lesser is used. He has fewer sugar than you is crossed, is incorrect, whereas he has lesser sugar than you is the correct expression. Similarly, if we look at the last example, there are lesser chances of his recovery. Let's look at the chances, whether it is countable noun or uncountable noun. We can count the chances. You have got 2 chances, 3 chances, 4 chances. It is countable. It is countable. So before the countable nouns, lesser is incorrect expression that cannot be used. Right? We have to replace lesser with fewer, because fewer is used for the number that can be counted in this one. So there are fewer chances of his recovery. This is the correct expression. whereas there are lesser chances of his recovery is incorrect because of lesser, and there are fewer chances of his recovery is the correct expression for this sentence. Use many before it. So there are much boys in this class is uh, incorrect because of the expression of much, because much is used for the uncountable, whereas boys is countable noun, so we have to replace much by many. So there are many boys in this class is the correct expression, but there are much boys in this class is incorrect because boys can be numbered, boys can be counted. It is a countable noun, that's why it's wrong to place much before it. There are many boys in this class is the correct expression being used for this sentence. Many before water. So she has many water in the glass is incorrect. She has much water in the glass is the correct expression for this sentence. Continuing with the same example, the next one has he has purchased much birds. Let's look at the birds. Is it countable? Can we count the birds? Yes, bird is a countable noun. And before countable nouns, it is incorrect to use much. Rather, we would use many before the countable noun. So she has purchased much birds is an incorrect expression for this sentence. In order to write this sentence in the correct order, we have to place many before the birds, because bird is a countable noun, and before the countable noun, to show the quantity in greater number, we use many. So he has purchased much birds is an incorrect expression, whereas he has purchased many birds is the correct sentence. Moving further, we come to rule number 43. In this rule, we have the list of 3 words, and these 3 words include usually, always, and often are used between verb and subject. If these words are used in a sentence, so what is the proper place of using them? Right, where to use them? So the correct use of them is to place them between the subject and the verb. That is the correct use of these words. For example, he drives usually to home. In this sentence, he is the subject and drives is the verb, and the rule says that it is appropriate to place usually between subject and verb, whereas in the incorrect sentence it has been placed after the verb, which is an incorrect expression. In order to correct this sentence, we will use usually after he, that is the subject. So he drives usually to home is an incorrect sentence. He is the subject and drives is the verb. We have to place it between he and drives. So the correct sentence is he usually drives to home is the correct sentence. Continuing with the same rule, let's move to the next 2 examples that are visible on the slide here. And the same rule that we come across, that they come always late to class. So here always has been used, and always has been placed after come, that is the verb, whereas the rule says that it is appropriate to place always between subject and verb. So they is the subject in this sentence and come is the verb. So the best place for the placement of always in this sentence is to place it after they. So they come always late to the class is incorrect because of using always after come. So the correct use is they always come late to class. Is correct. Why? Because always has been placed before after the subject and before the verb, and that is the correct place of the always. Similarly, the last example we come across here is you visit them often. Often has been placed at the end of the sentence, which is incorrect sentence. The rule says that we have to cut often between subject and verb, and you is the subject and visit is the verb. So the best place of this word is to place it in the sentence where it is placed between subject and verb, that is you and visit. So you visit them often is incorrect because of placing it in the wrong place, whereas you often visit them is the correct expression for this sentence. This is the end of today's lecture. Uh, I, I hope and expect that you would have understood it completely, and you would also try to make your notes of these lectures. Uh, if you still face some difficulty in understanding these rules or these rules of the corrections, please feel free to put your question, drop your question in WhatsApp group that has been made for this purpose for the fourth year. Be a fourth year, a WhatsApp group has been established. You can put and you can drop your question there. It would be addressed adequately and immediately. Thank you very much for joining us today. I wish you the best of the day and the best of the luck in your studies. Thank you very much.